Ursula von der Leyen's stance there. You historically said that the euro is like Hotel California, the song by the Eagles, a place you can check out but you can never arguably leave. Greece is binded now with whatever the EU does. What's the future for Greece when it comes to this Liberation Day that we're expecting from Donald Trump?
It's not looking very good, I'm afraid, because Greece is not going to be affected directly by Trump's tariffs, because we don't sell that much to the United States. But Greece is utterly dependent as a result of having turned into effectively a debt colony of the European Union over the last 20 years. It is utterly affected by the capacity of the German industrial model to continue functioning. And I'm afraid that the German industrial model has shown very sure signs recently that it is kaput, that it is gone. It is simply not able to compete with Chinese technologies, especially when it comes to electric vehicles, when it comes to green energy, because let's face it, in Germany and in Europe, we have not invested in the last 15 years. We had zero actual productive net investment. So countries like Greece are essentially hoping for the best while watching Ursula von der Leyen and the incoming Chancellor of Germany trying to maintain business as usual when business cannot be maintained as usual.
And just as a final thought, your assessment on how much the Trump administration will stick to this, because obviously we know he fluctuates. He says one thing, he does something else. Economic instability, markets hate that. But how likely is it that he will continue with what he declares later on today?
I think we overestimate the capriciousness of Donald Trump. And he does flood the zone. This is the Steve Bannon expression, in order to keep us guessing. But that's part of his strategy. It's not that his mind is changing. He keeps us guessing. My view is that the tariffs are here to stay. They are imposed on everyone, friend and foe, simultaneously. They're a blanket tariff. And then, once they're there, essentially what we're talking about is increasing the average tariffs in the United States from 2.5%, which is where they used to be, to something like 20-25%. This is a massive increase. And then coming to each one of us, to the Brits, to the French, to the Germans, to the Japanese, to the Koreans, to the Chinese, and negotiating individually, keeping us apart, to keep us weak, and effectively exact his pound of flesh, and different pounds of flesh, different types of flesh from different countries. So from the Japanese, who have $1.2 trillion, the last time I counted, of dollar savings. He will want to sell those dollars in exchange for very long-dated American debt. From the Germans, he's going to demand that the German government doesn't do anything to impede the migration of whole production lines from Volkswagen and BMW and BASF and Siemens to the United States. So that's his strategy. It is a mistake to think that just because he's inarticulate, and for some of us politically a very poor excuse for human nature, that he doesn't have a plan. He does have a plan. We don't have a plan. It's about time we got one.
I'm sure his supporters think very differently to your view of Donald Trump. But Yanis Varoufakis, as always, really good to get your insight. Fascinating insight there. Thank you so much.